Yes, yes. All right. Good night, everyone out there on the internet. Just trying to get things all sorted out. It's 11th October 2021, and look how fast the year is just popping by, right? Without us not even being conscious how fast time goes. Right? Again, the weeks are just flying by right in front of us. We're not. I feel like a lot of people are just not capitalizing on some of these days, and I feel like the days are getting shorter for me. But definitely nice to be here on a Monday night with you guys again. It's Monday, and like every other Monday, for the couple that I skipped, it's working on the Everyday People Belize, which is my half-hour live segment where I get to share with you guys some of the things that is happening around us, and of course, talk about some of the things that I've seen during the week, or some of the things that people are sharing with me, during the week, and try to inspire and move the young people forward in particular. And I think that's particularly the aim of the show, to see how we can wake up some of the youngsters and get them going, right? Because they are the people who use all of these social media platforms more than any of us, and so it's nice to come out and just share some of the things and have them understand what's really happening around us, right? And I thought that tonight, if you looked at the subtopic that I placed on, we're looking at, well, the word soil is there, from soil to plate, right? And it's something that I've been, clamoring for over the past couple of years, to get people to start to plant up and do your thing in your backyard and do your thing, at the farm. And the question asked is, why are we not capitalizing on some of the resources we have? Both the human resource, right? And of course, the natural resource that is all around us. And I had several occasions this weekend, over the course of the weekend, where I kind of pulled the guys out and told them that this is how we win, right? And this is how we win throughout, by getting the young people involved in what we are doing. So it's not leaving them out and hoping that they will see it in the longer run. Now, we have to continuously try to wake them up and show them that the future is in their hands, and we are leaving this behind at some point. We're going right back into topsoil, right? So we're leaving this behind at some point, and they're taking over. And so how do we prepare them? And I see less and less of that happening, less and less of the preparation happening for our young people. I feel like there's a gap now where a lot of the people around my age, or a lot of people older, right, or a lot of people a little bit older than the teenagers, then have sort of given up, right? And I want to just appeal to them to, don't give up on trying to motivate a young person, male or female, right? Don't give up on trying to teach them something new, and of course, good teaching, right? Not bad teaching, right? So we need to continuously be striving, and continuously be telling them, and continuously be pushing them, getting them out of the house. I think that was my focus for the weekend. Trying to figure out how I can get some of these young people from behind the machines. And I'm saying this because a lot of our classes now are virtual, and this will continue for a while. But we find out that they're sitting there behind that computer device, sometimes not even doing work, right? Sometimes they're just sitting there because they're used to sitting there and communicating with somebody else on the other side. We find out that they're stuck there. And so try to figure out, and this is for parents, try to figure out how you can get them out of the house and do something with the hands, and walk barefoot, around the yard, do something so that they could feel the soil. We're all connected. We're all connected to the earth, and so how do we get them to come out and feel that, even if it's just an hour, right? It will help. So that was kind of my aim for the weekend, to get Zahira out and get Peyton out of the house and put some plants in the ground, right? And of course, all of that fulfilled. Was a tiresome weekend. I got really tired, but it was totally worth it, right? So we got a chance to put down, I think, about 15 avocado trees, and avocado takes long to bear, so that's definitely for the future generation, right? And we also got some plants from Mr. Martinez, Mr. Ray, and so I'm grateful for that. I think he gave us some custard apple, lime tree, mango tree, right? So we got a chance to take the boys out and have them plant something, right? And so let me see if I can find some footage that I can share with you, because I do share footage on my WhatsApp, but for people who are not on WhatsApp, they're saying, but what is he talking about, right? So let me see if I can find that for you guys and bring that up on screen. So just to share with you what happened, what transpired over the weekend in terms of, got the whole post-hole dig out, went into the little farm area we have, and started just putting down trees, and I got carried away with it, but it's nice to get carried away with it. This is Peyton getting his hands dirty, and this is what I'm talking about, get those hands dirty, right? I think it's a video, yeah.
This is when you know you truly win, guys. You have the young people, they plant a tree, pay a tree. That's when we win. How we get everybody to do that, I don't know.
Yeah,
Peyton have to encourage them.
Yeah. So that's a headache, right? How do we get everybody out and into putting something into the ground and touching that ground and connecting with the earth, right? This is the area, and one of the things I got from here, one of the takeaway from this day was that, and just driving through town, we have a lot of plantains, we have a lot of bananas, we have a lot of coconuts, right? So these are plants that grow very easily, and so it's not difficult to plant. I think somebody mentioned it would be good to know what some of the procedures are in terms of planting, right? And this is King Zahiro. He made it out on Sunday.
Guys. Another tired dude come out. Come plant, It's how to talk about. Winning again. Get them out of the house. Get them from behind a computer for weekends. Especially during all of them virtual session. Get some sun hat. Right? Stop the sleep late tonight.
Right, so definitely that was fun. Just having the boys out with me, having them do something with their hands, dotting their fingernail a bit, mess up the foot, Yeah, Miss Joan, good night, saying it's not all about academics, and that is true. That is even more prevalent now, that it's not all about the academics, but it's what you can do with your hands, and what you can do with all the resources that we have, right, and capitalize on that. What is key to that, and this is more of a message. UB, I think, had their graduation over the weekend. Yeah, over the weekend. Saw a lot of pictures, right, and I remember the whole graduation exercise. And I thought, what, we have more people coming out of school. Now, it's what you do with that schooling. And so this is for the young people now. Don't, especially in these times, don't sit there waiting for a job. Let me say it like that. Don't sit there waiting for a job to come to you, or don't sit there waiting and hoping that you will jump into the right job on your first jump, right? Rather see how you can create something. See how you can create something so that it becomes... your job becomes secondary, right? Which again, it's kind of the other way around, because what you do as what we call a side hustle, that's more of the secondary thing. But try to see the correction that I would make is to see how you can create that main being your skill, right? So yes, you graduated from UB, you came out, you had your associate's degree, you have your bachelor's degree in some subject area. Now see how you can develop a skill from what you've learned from school. See how you can apply that right? And my dad told me the right thing over the weekend, saying that yes, you're finished with school, but how do you apply that? How do you now take that writing skill that you have and put it into creating a business plan, right? How do you take that writing skill and putting it into writing a proposal? How do you take that writing skill and showing the world that you have some knowledge and you want to build more skills, but no more hands-on skills, because the academics is nice, but we have to learn to use it so that we don't become used in a job situation. Because for majority of jobs that you'll find out there, you'll find out that you become slaves to that job. That is as simple as it gets, right? Even in every job, including the job that I do, which is teaching, right? You find out that you become slave to your job, and not everybody appreciate what you do. Good. So the people who just graduated from UB, you're young, you're energetic, find something to do. Find something. I've seen many people just sit at home with these degrees now and do nothing, and feel like the world should come to them. No, you go to the world, right? You go to the world. Now show us what you learned over the course of that 2 years. Apply what you learned, right? Volunteer somewhere, right? And that is key. And I have another footage to show you guys, and this one is from the Oceana guy. I got a chance to move around, and he's doing a lot of good work in terms of having kids volunteer and come out and clean up the beaches. So these things still happen, right? Which is perfect, right? So let me see if I could bring that footage on screen for you guys. So this is from the beach side. So he had a beach cleanup, and so I also want to highlight that, right? Josh doing his thing. He had a couple kids with him, which is good, right? But we need more. I would like to see more of the other teenagers come out. So these little kids are there fine. They're doing their part. But how do we get the older population, talking about the 15-year-old, the 16-year-old, so they can feel a sense of, I'm giving back to my community? How do we do that? That's a headache. So we need more groups being organized in terms of getting these young people out. And again, this comes back to getting them out on the weekend. With all the COVID stuff, I mean, as long as you follow the protocol and everything and you teach them how to do it, then that is fine, right? But the idea is that get them out so they can assist in some of these projects that are going on. And look how beautiful that area is, right? What I noticed, and I have to point it out, because I really don't like to point out the negative, but it's true. I noticed that people are cutting the mangroves, and maybe there is a science to it that I don't know, right? But they're cutting the mangroves on the edge of the seawall, and I thought that if we can have all these mangroves grow well, that the roots would help to hold that area and help to prevent erosion, right? So all the way up in Cat Landing, the mangroves, and you can look at the limited amount of mangroves that is there, right? And they cut down some of them, and I see some of them drying up, and I'm thinking maybe they sprayed them with something. So again, it would be nice to just have more trees planted in those particular area, right? So again, big up to Josh, the man that do the thing, right? The man that carry out a crowd for help clean up the beach. And again, it would be nice that if we didn't have to depend a lot on some of these organizations or some of these NGOs to do it for us. But how do we organize our people? And again, this is where I say we have a lot of community leaders in Punta Gorda town who could take up these initiatives and say, you know what, I'll take 5 kids out and we're going to clean up somewhere. Or we'll take 10 people out and we're going to clean up on a street side, right? So that we start doing for us. Don't wait for the politicians to do it for you. It'll never happen. I'll be honest with you, it'll never happen, right? But we need to start doing. We need to start doing. And I'm talking to the people who are 13, 14, 15, 16. These are the people with energy. And those people who just come out of UB, you're 19, 20, 21. You have a lot of energy right now. This is where you start to exercise your organizational skill, right? And come out and move people around and get things happening. It's good practice, right? It is good practice. So let's do that, right? There's no classroom now, right? And I'm reading it, time is changing, and I'm reading direct from the comment from Ms. Joan. They say that time is changing. OG, big up yourself. and technology is rapidly taking over, what will happen when less people will be needed in the classroom? That's already happening already, right? We have a lot of people struggling to deal with the virtual thing, and the virtual thing is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. What will happen if the Mennonites decide to leave us knowing they do our food? Believe me, they won't leave, right? Belize is a kingdom for them. But somebody mentioned to me today, it was David. David mentioned to me today, you know what? We do depend on the Mennonites for the creation and for our food then in Belize. And so it means that we have to have more people producing for us, and all of that is starting to happen now. I look at the guys from Yard Light, and again Jalil doing his thing there. You know what? Man really make PG proud. So Yard Light having their meat sale. They had some chicken sale, right? And they have a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing in terms of helping to uplift our community, right? So get some people to assist these guys. Getting guys a call, find out, man, how you do this, right? Because these guys have it on lock, right? Check with Josh for Oceana. Ask Josh, bye, you need any help? I really want my kids and go out and get a lease. And the man responsible, right? And so it means that you have to be willing to send them out also, or be a part of it as a parent. On weekends you have nothing to do, right? You're at home with your child and you organize something. Call somebody, could call me, call somebody and say, man, what I think I could do today? I always got something for do. I always tell people that, right? I always have something for do. So get out. The message here is get out, get your hands dirty a little, right? Get some fresh air, get some salt air in your body, right? Because there's enough resources around us that we can use. Good? And the issue with the mangrove cutting, I don't know if who could address that for us, or maybe there's a science that I don't know about for restoration of mangroves on the 1 Mile Beach area. But I saw it, somebody cut it, and when I went over behind the market area, also over the weekend, I saw that they cut down some of the coconut trees, some of the palm trees that were aligned, or that were holding those rocks together. Let me say it like that. And I was wondering, why would they cut down the palm trees when we should be planting more? So maybe planting more palm trees in that area should be part of the community effort that we would put in, right? And we could definitely get some palm tree seedlings going. There's a lot, like I tell you, PG got abundance palm trees and plantain trees and banana trees around, so we can definitely move those transplant very easily. To transplant or to move planting, you simply take out the suckers, all the little young plants at the bottom, you dig them out, chop them up a little bit, put them back in the soil, and they grow, right? They're like cocoa and cassava, right? Cassava is direct from the stem, right? So you take the stem and stick it in the ground, like sugar cane. Take the stem and stick it in the ground. So these things grow very easily. We just have to take our time and put it in the ground, and then they take care of themselves. With all the rain that PG has, we are definitely blessed in that arena, right? So Mr. was saying, yeah, I don't mind sending my 2 sons to help. Who could I check with? You could check with me. You could check with Josh Bolan. I think the guy from the youth place to Mr. Miller, you could check with him, right? But definitely, if you're not sure who to check with, I mean, I could definitely. It's just a matter of picking up the phone and making a call. Jalil from Yard Light, you could check with those guys, right? And I'm the guys from Tide. I know they took in some young people the other day, and they did the whole diving stuff. So that was very useful. But look for places, weekends. Get the kids out of the house, man. Get them in the yard. A teacher did something that was really nice, and I didn't question the whole project thing, but it would be nice to give the kids at home a little task, right? So they can start building that sense of responsibility. Give them 2 or 3 plants to grow, and have them take care of it every day. And look for plants that grow very quickly and that grows very easily, but it means that they have to water it every day, right? And so you're teaching them that responsibility. But that's where we could start right at home. So get a container, get some soil from somewhere, right? Create a compost if you want. I had a video segment on compost that Mr. Abib Palmer does. And give them 2-3 plants, put them out in the yard and say, you know what, I want to deal with this cabbage seed for me. Carry it and make it grow into a big plant. That gives them a sense that every day they have something to do in the morning, and it becomes routine. They'll get up and they'll go and water the plants. They'll get up and they'll check on it, see if it's growing, right? But find plants that are very easy to grow, right? And that's our responsibility as adults to get those organized. Ms. Joan says, all right, let's do a community garden project, a competition, right? That's something very useful. I know I could coordinate with Mr. Will mentioned this the last time, where he wanted to do some getting a wood chipper, right? And all the little brushes and bush and stuff around town, put it in chipper and turn it into compost, right? And so it means that we can start building garden projects, right? So a competition, look for sponsors for a little initiative, and it's not expensive, There is this lady from the People's Front, Miss Nancy, and she has a project called Seeds for something, but they're working in Belize City. But we could definitely give her a call and ask if they can give seeds for people up in Punta and it's possible. Mr. Carl, good night. Yeah, it would be nice if parents had seed money to invest in their children. Definitely, I believe the cooperation movement with young people will set them in a straight for the future, right? So definitely, it's how we get them moving, right? How do we get them moving? So again, for the parents at home, check with me. We could definitely organize something for the weekend, do small numbers. I have a lot of young people who are willing to go with us if let's say we're collecting soil or we're setting seed. It doesn't have to be anything difficult. We can set some seedling this weekend, and then following weekend we push it in our community garden somewhere, and we see where you go from there, right? But they come out and they mess up their hand a little bit, right? But definitely, guys, those are some great ideas that caught me over the weekend. Also, I wanted to highlight a young man, Mr. Charles. He's doing his thing in the Cerro area, right? Yeah, Shane Castillo, good night. Yeah, he's doing his thing in this Cerro area, and caught my attention on Facebook when he posted a little garden project that he was doing, right? Man, they do big things, can put it like that. So let me pull that on screen so you guys can see that. And he is doing, I think he's going to grow vegetables, and these are some very, very large beds, right? I think he's in the Cerro area. He also got help from the Ministry of Agriculture, and so these guys came in with the rototiller and they assisted him in tilling the area, right? And he also got some seeds going. So this is definitely a big project. I can't wait to see what comes out of it. The rains definitely got to him, and so but he's just starting, so he has some drainage to do, definitely, right? But you can see the beds are high, and so this definitely will survive. But we're in the rainy season, but this is the time to put down some plants, because when the dry season hits, we want that the plants are ready, right? So he got a bunch of seeds in, and he sent me all of this, so I decided, I'll just share this with you guys. I was excited as soon as I saw it, and I said, this is how we win. This is how we win, right? When we start creating our own and forgetting about all the nonsense with politics and money. That will always be there. We still need fighters in that area, but it means that we can start our own thing on ground, right? So all type of seeds, and this is good if you can teach your kids how to recognize different seeds and how to recognize different plants, right? Because some of these, as soon as I look at these, I can tell this is a sweet pepper seed, right? This is cucumber, right? And he has a mixture there. So definitely big things will be happening to the back there with him, and the kids are involved. This is what I like, right? So they're learning. Remember that we are preparing them for the future. They're learning, right? And he's screening it, so he's kind of protection from predators and so forth. And this definitely have a bright future, that's for sure, right? That's when it was just finished tilled. I think this is the guys from Agric came over, so this is nice to have the people from Agriculture Department assist. I think they came over with a trailer with the devices loaded on, and got the beds done. So all he had to do was ask for help, reach out for help, right? And the guys came in and they gave him a hand, right? Everybody put together, and the project is on the way. I think he told me he was preparing some seed boxes now, so that he can get ready to sow those seeds, and in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, those will be ready for transplanting, right? This is how we win. This is how we make it. So that's a seed bed, seed boxes, all topsoil, right? Mix up some compost material in there. That's a really big seed box. I could expect big things. Now, definitely, as these start growing, the man will have to look for market, and so you have to coordinate around. And the guy who does marketing very well that I notice is Mr. Jalil. He does he's a marketing expert, I think, right? He knows how to market his product. So definitely have people you could talk to. You sit down and you learn, and you learn from other people who have done it already, right? So that's a big project. That is a big project. But Mr. Charles, again, he's doing his thing. If you he's on Facebook, and so if you want to hit him up and offer some help, I'm sure he will appreciate that. It shows that he's using the area to the back there, and I want to see more people make use of that area, right there beside town. And I did take a walk in there, and I see a big planting patch. I see people doing a lot of things. It needs a little bit of uplifting of the roads, but definitely things that happen back there, right? And definitely PG. One day we will win, right? As long as we can produce for ourselves, we're already winning, right? Mr. Avila, Valen Avila, yes, Valen. You got a big spot back there too. I have to try to plant up that spot there. But definitely, guys. Federico, Tide. Federico is saying, and thanks Federico for sharing. Tide would like to engage youths in PG to establish environmental club. And so for people on the live right now, Federico Carl from Tide, right? I think he does it, and he has his contact number there. So it's 672-9477, and so you can definitely give him a call. Activities can be once a month based on time availability for youths. And of course, Federico, if you need an extra hand to assist you, then feel free to hit me up on weekends if I have nothing much planned, right? And then I can move along, because for me, I do my vlogging on YouTube too, right? And so whenever I move around now, I'm always videoing what I do. So they have 16 environmental clubs in Toledo, right? So definitely hit him up. Good. I feel like I'm on time. So those were just some of the things that I saw over the weekend, and some of the people I spoke to, right? And it kind of drew me in that these are some of the things we need to be promoting. Apart from all the negative that is happening around us, the young people taking lick. It just means that we have to engage more young people into our society building. I may say it like that, right? And the way we do that is by having them know where the source of their food comes from, teaching them how to, get these things done. I see. I know Peyton probably don't know for my coconut oil, right? It's a tedious task, but it's a healthy oil, right? So these are some of the things you can have them learn, and just spread the word on how to plant plantains, how to plant cassava, how to plant corn, how to make coconut oil. And there's a coconut oil industry now taking a boom again. I remember some years back, coconut oil was the main thing, right? So the industry is coming back again, and we have abundance of cocoon trees in Belize. Touching more on the national scene, and I didn't, I kind of stayed away from a lot of the national stuff this week, but I can think about this big causeway that they want to build, and the manatee guy in Belize City. That's how I know him. So I forgot the guy's name, but he's the manatee guy. I can imagine his brain is racing right now, trying to figure out how he could save his sanctuary with manatees, because that causeway is going to be built right over the only protected area for those animals. And of course, the environmental people, the EIA for it, then sorry, already went through. So that's probably going to happen, and there's going to be some destruction in that manatee habitat. So uh, he has a headache, and we all have headache if we don't want to see the extinction of that species here in Belize. And we are hoping for more protection, but the protection comes at a cost when you look at development in those areas. So the offset, and I've said this before, is and the people from DOE, they have a very nice program going, but it's the younger folks who just got into DOE, so they have a drive now. But the older people in DOE, and I hate to have to say it like that, but the older people in DOE, they seem to have things set one way and they don't want to look at it any other way. But you know, here in the Toledo district, we can just try to do what we can to serve as an example. I always tell people, if we can be the example here, the other districts will listen and look at us then. But we have to be the example, right? And to do that, we need to grow our own. We need to teach our young people. We need to keep them engaged. Good? All right. So, Amanda Garcia, yeah, proud to see her trying to for our lovely district and PG. Definitely. I always hear, I keep telling people I have nowhere to go now. I'm home. When I came back to PG, I came home. And now it's just how we establish home. Right? OG, big up yourself, right? And the other people on the live, I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the comments. I'm streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. I have my YouTube channel, and it's under Marcel Palma, and that's where I dump a lot of stuff that I do, right? Including some tutorials, and I do have a lot more tutorials I need to start covering, or I need to start doing, and I will urge more teachers to put up tutorials on YouTube and on other social media sites, or put up tutorials even on TikTok. An idea came to me because I don't use TikTok, but I do browse it, right? And I could put small tutorials there, right? Because the generation now looks at a 30-second video, and after that, then they don't want to see nothing else, right? Sorry, Shane Castillo says, do people still lime down by Cave Branch or too far from there? No, we are far from Cave Branch. Yeah, Cave Branch is all the way on a Hummingbird, right? But I know there's a whole bunch of white lime area there in that zone. But guys, that's my time. That's my 30 minutes. I want to thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys next week, Monday. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.